What a time. What a time we're in. You can feel it. Everything is accelerating. Things are coming up for all of us, and you might find yourself oscillating back and forth between the shadow and the light. Wherever you find yourself, I just want you to know that you are in the perfect place on your journey. And a story that I'm going to share today, I have shared on the channel a long time ago, and I got called to share it with you all again because this story highlights a point that if you can really understand this and receive what I'm talking about, this is an element of mastery that I would argue we need to have right now. And that is one of surrender, trust, and allowing, really balancing in a healthy way the feminine energy that we all have, the feminine aspect of ourselves, because that feminine aspect of ourselves is tied to our creativity and imagination, to think outside of the box, to take new inspired action, to go in a new direction. That is where we will receive that higher guidance from the higher mind that we all have, that we all share. And it very much goes against the conditioning that many of us have. So I'm going to share this story, and I really hope that this lands for you. See what jumps out, see what speaks to you. So this happened years ago. I'm on this walk here in Montana. There's this beautiful pond in this park, and the sun is shining, and I had just done such an amazing meditation. I was just feeling so centered and so grounded. And I'm on this walk, and I notice that in the tree up ahead of me, there's something moving. And it's right by the pond. And as I get closer, I can see that there's a bird that is very, very tangled up in fishing line on this tree. I've never seen anything so tangled up. It's like my headphones when I take them out of my pocket. I know you've all had that experience. This bird, because of its struggle and because of its fight or flight response trying to break free, it had tangled itself up so much that it was very challenging for me to help get it out. So I approach the bird, and of course, as I get close to it, it starts freaking out even more and it starts struggling more, trying to get away. So I take a breath and I almost go into this psychic communication with the bird where I'm letting it know, hey, I'm safe. I'm here to help you. You don't need to worry, but I need you to relax. If you don't relax, I can't help you. Because every time I would go to try to touch it, it would start freaking out and I couldn't do anything. So eventually, after just a few seconds, actually, the bird almost goes completely limp and it's looking at me the whole time. And so I have it in my hands and I start to slowly take the fishing line off of its feet. It's really tangled up in the wings. And so much so that it needed more than just me unraveling it. I had to cut the line with something, but I didn't have anything to cut it with. So all I really had at my disposal was my teeth. And so I had to put my face really as close as you could get to the bird so that I could bite parts of this line to get it off. And it was like the bird knew what I was doing and it just fully relaxed, even though my face is right up against it. It's letting me do what I need to do because it knew that I was there to help it. And again, it's still looking at me the whole time. So I don't know, this took about 5 minutes to get this bird out. And the moment that I took off the last piece of fishing line, it looked at me again and then it realized that it wasn't entangled anymore and took off. So that story to me highlights some very important key aspects that are going to help you get through any transition period that you might find yourself in, get through any ancestral karma that you're clearing, get through any shadows that might be surfacing. And this is something that we got to learn so that we can take with us the rest of the journey. This is part of every hero mythology story, right? Of everyone who's taking the journey of going from the small self and awakening to who they really are. There's that divine intervention. There's that allowing and opening up to something greater than yourself to assist you. And that is the divine. That is God. That is the universe that you and me are children of, expressions and emanations of. There is so much help available, but because we have free choice, uh, there will not be interference unless we ask for it or are open to receive it. So human beings are very much like this bird. We get tangled up and we spin so many circles around ourselves with our mind, and we just get more and more trapped, right? Our ego identity mind, through the way that it sees things, the way that it's looking at its problems and issues, it's like a web that just keeps spinning around itself. And we just feel more and more trapped the more we get away from truth, right? And our bodies let us know this. There's things trying to let us know, hey, that's not it, but we keep doing it because our conditioning is so strong. And this is also programming from our ancestors that just goes back thousands and thousands of years that we have been tasked to clear out, right? True freedom and true sovereignty. So, just like the bird, we tangle ourselves up. And the more that we struggle and the more that we fight and the more that we try to force our way out and try to fix it, the more we just get tangled. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you're trying to solve the problem from the small self, and it will never get you the solution that you're looking for. It's either going to dig you deeper into the issue, or it's going to be a very temporary fix, right? But there's no lasting solution that comes from that. The only lasting solutions are you tapping into the higher mind. Are you allowing yourself to receive the divine assistance from God, from Source? Now, that was me in the story. I was that divine intervention. I was the assistance for that bird. If that bird had not gotten into a place of stillness and it hadn't relaxed, there was nothing I could have done. There was no way that I could have disentangled that bird if it had not completely surrendered and let go and allowed me to help it. This is exactly what happens to us. We're frantically running around, our brain waves are going crazy. There's so much interference, we have so much distraction, our field of energy is just so chaotic that we cannot receive that divine guidance from the higher mind. We need to have calm waters in order for that to come through because it's a higher frequency. And that brainwave, beta mode, fight or flight, is not higher frequency. We're on a different radio station and we cannot receive what we're looking for. So we can only receive more of that when we're on that beta brain ego identity mind frequency, right? Albert Einstein said it, you can't solve the problem from the level that you created it because you're just going to create more of it, right? The creative solutions are being are driving the problem itself. That's the really cool part. The higher potential is using this problem to unfold the higher consciousness to help clear that ancestral baggage or that karma, to help you evolve because you are an expression of life, and life does not want to be stagnant. It wants to keep expanding and keep growing and desiring more and expressing more, right? And if you look around, people are doing the opposite of that. People are shrinking, they're contracting, they're holding more fear, especially with everything that's going on in the outside world right now. And to me, it's like, what's the higher potential of that? Oh, yeah, it's forcing us to find that security within ourselves. No more outside stuff giving us that. We are now being forced to go into our own internal world and confront the fears, realize and come into alignment with the divine nature of ourselves that we have access to at all moments. This is teaching us to do that. And you can either step backward into fear or forward into excitement. And that's where the trust comes in, right? We have such a hard time trusting because of the survival instincts that we have and our energy being in so many ways trapped in our lower root chakra, which is all about survival. The higher consciousness is rising up into the heart, recognizing the oneness, recognizing that there's nothing to truly worry about. And the changes that we're seeing out here, it's finally, finally we're getting some movement. And for people who have been seeing this for a long time, I mean, as I've said before many times, we're in the Aquarian age, folks. We're in a time of rapid evolution and involution. We are in it right now. It's no longer some time that's coming down the road. It's going on right now, right in front of us. And it's how we are responding to that instead of reacting that's going to make the entire world of difference in your experience of it. Now, life has been prepping me for this time for a while. The way that most people are feeling right now is how I felt for the last 7 years. Now, my nervous system is at a calm place. Now, I can look at what's going on out there and say, oh, yes, here we go. The Aquarian energies are just sweeping all the old structures away. Now, to me, that's a very exciting opportunity. It is very exciting at the prospect that we are all waking up in such a high level degree, so many people at the same time, where we're recognizing we are the creators of our experience, that we can anchor heaven on earth, that we can explore what we want to explore, and we can free ourselves from the prison programming that we've had for so long. We can participate in that. We can create that right now, heaven on earth inside of you, coming into alignment with that, creating a frame of reality by keeping your attention on it, of ease, of grace, of joy, of being around good people that support you, your heart open, you're feeling good in your own skin, confident, capable. You believe in yourself. You have an incredible relationship with yourself. Your self-esteem is rock solid. Your connection to God, to source, is rock solid. You're in that place of trust. There's no fear, there's no lack, right? Because you've released all of those wounds and all of those fears because you're remembering who you are, right? That's the frame that we're building. And no longer does the outside have emotional pulls. I've given that up in so many ways, and it feels really good to not walk around with that baggage. Not to say I don't have any of that, but it's if I've done some heavy clearing of that. And I say that because I've learned that bird story really taught me so much because I didn't realize how frantic I was being, just like the bird, and spinning my tires and not getting anywhere, and in so much chaos and disorder that there was no way that the divine could reach me. I was not sitting by the phone ready to answer it. I was on a completely different radio station, and therefore I was receiving everything that's in alignment with that frequency. And we don't have to do that. So, with that being said, this is right now the time to prioritize your peace, to honor the feminine, to honor your imagination by calming your mind down as much as you possibly can, calming your nervous system so that you are in a place where you can receive what you're needing. And listen to my words here. Everything that you're needing is right there inside of you, already, right now. You can relax into that and know that you are getting everything that you need, and you don't need to apply any force. You don't need to go out and fix anything. You just need to let things that are no longer you fall apart, fall away, let life strip that from you. receive the upgrade of that, and stay in that place of thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take away everything that is not me. Take away everything that is not authentically who you created me to be. I mean, just feel into that. That feels so much better than freaking out. It's a waste of energy to freak out. But here's the thing, because so much of this is ancestral, we have to feel it. We have to transmute it through the feeling. So you can't avoid it. You want to feel it. But as you're feeling it, it's like this multi-dimensional experience where you're allowing it, and then also you're knowing the truth of what's going on as you're feeling it. It's almost as though you're holding that scared inner child as it's going through the death portal, as it's going through a lot of fear coming up in the nervous system. And you are there to ground it. You're there to hold it, to know that it's safe, right? And then also redirect it to the truth. It's needing that from us. Those parts that have been fragmented and scattered from traumatic events are all coming to sit at the table of unification, because that's what the Aquarian Age is all about. Unifying all the parts that got separate, all the areas that we got separated from life, held the illusion of separation from God, from Source, because you never can be. But because there's free choice here, you get to play out the experience that you want to have. But from a lot of people, they're getting lost in the minutia. They're getting lost in the small self. And so a channel like this and many other channels are here to help anchor in the truth, the higher energies, so that you can receive them, because that is playing a much bigger game, and it's way more fun and exciting to wake up every day in a place of receiving in miracle consciousness, which simply means amazing things are happening today. Like, I can't wait to see the synchronicities, the good conversations, the amazing opportunities that are flowing in, the fun that I'm having, the enjoyment that I'm getting in all the moments throughout the day. Like, that is a frame of reality that you want to start to really build for yourself. Why build it? Because you're the creator of it. Instead of creating the same bullshit and reacting to the same shit and getting all freaked out, why don't we actively participate and create something way better? Change our attentional system, implement meditation, implement nature, whatever you got to do to calm your nervous system, because you know the utility of why you do it, so that your antenna gets to the radio station where all the good stuff is, right? So that you can allow reality to reflect back the good stuff instead of the fear, instead of the bullshit, instead of the same symbols that the material world has to keep giving you, that are just a reflection of your subconscious mind. Like, let's step out of that and come into creation, because that's why we're here. We're learning to do this. We're learning to become masters at this. Okay? So I wanted to share that story because I think a lot of people are having very deep primal fears come up right now. And there's so much assistance and help available, but they're not able to receive it because they're freaking out. And right, it's like, I literally, that bird would have been stuck there the whole time. There was nothing that I could have done if it had just kept moving around, right? And we're doing that too with our energy. It's scattered, it's chaotic, it's disorderly, it's in beta brain mode where it's just like, and nothing can get through. And it's like, of course. So I want to highlight the utility of this, of why it's so important right now to prioritize your peace. Rest in peace, my wonderful friends. Okay? With that being said, I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and attention. And I really hope some of this lands for you, because it's very important. And let's create a world, because you are a massive part of that, as am I, as all of us are, where people are, even though there's fear going on, they know the truth, they're open to receive the divine intervention and assistance, and they're stepping into miracle consciousness. They're anchoring heaven on earth right now, not some later date down the road. They're saying yes to it right now. You deserve that. You're worthy of that. You're here for that. Okay? And if you feel like it's hard to connect with that, then this is why you get support, right? This is what I do with my clients. I help really ground them into this. I help open up new levels of possibility that was challenging for them to get to on their own. But again, all of this is already within you, and I'm just helping you remember this and embody it and use certain tools to keep you anchored there and to clear your nervous system and to help you feel at ease. Okay, so important right now. So if you're needing that, sign up for an activation session. That's what those are all about. And then if you're really committed and serious, but also lighthearted because you know my style with that. It's a little bit of both. That's where the coaching comes in. And for that, it's like I don't have any interest in someone who wants to dabble with that. It's like, hey, I'm here, I'm going all in, I'm not looking back, the boats are burned, let's go. I've closed that old chapter and I'm stepping fully into the new one because with that energy, we can do a whole lot. We can really amplify things in that energy. Okay. All of my quantum leaps had to start with that kind of energy of it's not going to be any other way. This is the chosen possibility. This is what I'm claiming. This is the direction that I'm going, and let's get there together. Okay. And as I've said before, this is such a big year. This is such a massive time. So important to do the inner work, get mastery of your internal world, and remember who you are. So you can start having some fun. You can start enjoying yourself. You can feel powerful. You feel confident. You're connected to all that is. You're not the small self that's just scrambling around, freaking out. You're not the bird tangled up in the fishing line anymore. You're free. You're flying. That's what we're up to. Okay? If there's not a more symbolic uh, story of what's happening for humanity right now than what I just shared with the bird, I don't know what is. That's pretty spot on. So I hope that lands for you. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. As always, peace within is peace without.